The definition of insanity is said to be repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, but is actually the derangement of mind, lunacy, madness, lack of good sense, understanding, or foresight. I had thought this video would have been quick and easy. Record a montage of me scanning planets, turning in surveys for coins, and taking a newly fitted Neko fleet into the abyss for a fun test flight. I thought wrong. This is not the first recording of episode 4. This is not the first opening. These are not the first words I typed and read out. At the very least, I have not gone completely mad, as I had the foresight to save often. So let's try to be sensible this timeline, and instead of chasing the dragon of confectionery coins, let's make a few friends. Alright, so today we're gonna take it easy. Nice, relaxing, no thoughts, head empty, very, very not happy. Our main goal will be getting to Arya Charlotte over here, which shouldn't be too bad, as all we really need to do is improve our standing with Nina. So let's just buy a good 400 of those will do. And since we have traveled back in time, I do actually have to go here. We have lost our administrator, so I am stuck with this industry, unfortunately, but it's fine. Let us quickly, where is the smelters, upgrade, plop you down, but more importantly, you actually need a station, because there is pirate activity. We will deal with this momentarily. Alright, Nino, spark conversation, offer gifts. I have a snack package for you. Plus 10, and now we can actually ask for a branch of the UAF interdimensional confectionery, which is very nice. We will sign the papers without reading the actual fine print. Now, unfortunately, that did not get us high enough yet to actually get access to the Queen, so let us see other military jobs there is to offer. Preferably something up near where the pirates are. Excuse me? The station is controlled by the Imperium and is likely to be supported by a number of patrols. You want me to attack the Imperium in one of their things? I'm not used to the stations being part of bounty dockets. That's quite interesting, actually. We will take this one, though. Alright, the target is in this system. We'll go swing by the Azura and make a counterclockwise turnaround. And I might not even need to go that far. You're not my target, but you are now. There we go. Just a few more stragglers to take out. Alrighty then. You know, I was actually thinking I should probably name my ship, give it something special to commemorate it. Though I'm very bad at making names, so if anyone wants to leave a comment on name suggestions, I'd welcome it. Not an Aurorian equipment cache. You know, a very big issue I actually ran into with the previous recordings for all the scanning was that, despite scanning about a quarter of the sector, I ran into no Aurorian caches whatsoever. It would have been very helpful if I had actually just ran into at least one of them. Are you my target? There are several. There are 2 targets in the system. Oh yeah, I'll be. It's an independent contract right here. And they are also extremely damaged. Well, that was nice and easy. We'll let them go since we got the bounty target. Which then just leaves you, which we will do in one moment since we leveled up, actually. plus 15% combat readiness for combat ships, including carriers and mobilized ones. I feel like we are slacking on our leadership tree. Oh, you actually have quite a few good mods, but you are bounty hunters. Okay, yeah, pursue them. Send in, like, the rest of our second command. Our target is still alive? There we go, commission complete, and wait, that was 2 missions complete. How did we get to that stack? Well, either way, we are actually to Grand Mob status, so we can go back and get that upgraded. Now, under the assumption I remember where the pirate base is, I believe it is off over here somewhere. Speaking of things I have forgotten about, we'll actually put a research facility on here. Desert, rocky, Terran eccentric. I will have to rediscover the system where there was 2 naturally spawned Terran eccentric worlds. And I really want to show that. I really do. Hey, we actually got Gomez back. That's the administrator I was actually talking about before. Ooh, and we got quite a bit of nice things. So actually, we will do that right quick because Gomez has accessibility plus 15, larger fleet, also has effectiveness of ground defenses and +1 stability, which will help greatly on this planet, especially once we have a patrol HQ established here, which I should probably do right now before I forget. I don't know how obvious it is, but I am attempting to speak a bit softer this episode, especially given that this is another recording attempt. I did not get this one before though. Who do we have here? Aurora Shepherd with the same bonuses. How about that? Now, surprisingly, Auroria is in peace, in favorable conditions with the hedge. So we'll actually take a trip down there and visit one of the bars real quick. Alright, that's a decent amount of money back into our pocket. Let us learn these real quick. Though we don't have a gas giant, I will be holding on to the plasma dynamos just for now. Alright, I was kind of a fool. I forgot that you can view it from the pirates, not from the Aurorian intel. So our actual target is right here. Now that we are fueled up and have a decent amount of supplies, that should be a simple and easy trip. Oh, and even with the 2 administrators, we do have a positive credit balance. That is actually really nice. Alright, I hope you are ready to rumble, pirates. Consider military options. Now, we could actually do a raid real quick. That is an option that I did not consider last time I was here. I am not opposed to this idea. Alright, and that should pay for our engagement with the station. Let us begin. Now, unlike in the last recording, there is a place I want to visit real quick before we actually go back south into the UAF, and that is Prism Station, right here. Let us go down to the bar. You make your way inside the bar when you are suddenly approached by a woman with white hair. First thing that catches your attention is a golden mark on her face and a uniform typical of a researcher. As you consider what to say, your thoughts are interrupted by her gentle voice asking you for a drink and 5 minutes of your time. Both of you sit in the bar ordering a small glass of fine booze. After a moment, she tells you that her name is Sophia, and she is one of the researchers from Galatia, as you guessed earlier. I have heard stories about technological advancements made by your faction, and I have come with a proposition for you. So getting to the point, I am a seeker of knowledge, but Galatia limits me with regulations. You, however, you pursue knowledge without any bounds, and I want to be part of that. So my question to you is, will you allow my humble person to help you in that matter? Although I will show her skills off real quick, she has a passive archivist, so every 2 months she'll discover the location of a pre-collapse facility, and her active is resourceful, which decreases the cost of items for initial research by 100 units, or 1 if given item is a research databank. This does not include colony items. Now, I do want to bring this up of why I'm getting her is because something I noticed while scanning, I had not actually discovered any real pre-collapse facilities in the south of the sector. They were all primarily in the north for what few ones I did find. And in previous playthroughs, I had noticed that pre-collapse facilities were more common than what I'm currently finding. Now, granted, in this save file, for some reason, Terran worlds and other class 5s and 4s have become kind of like raining candy. It's everywhere. We will accept your proposition and we will leave the bar. Now we approach the spacer with a grimy heartsuit. We have met Chicken. Now we can technically purchase things from Chicken's tech lab. Now this may seem a bit cheating to some extent, but they're all pretty expensive to some degree, so I kind of think it balances out just a little bit. Now, one thing I do want is the automated bore, but as you can tell, we are kind of broke, so that's why I've been keeping these two, and get the drill. While we will be scanning the Lost Gate, we actually will not be using it on the way back to Auroria. Despite it being a much quicker trip, we will be taking a small detour around. Alright, I know I did say we were going to go to the left of the sector, but actually let's just go straight down. I kind of want to see if we can find the double Terran system. This is not the system either. Though we do have quite a few pings. Ooh, a bioengineering station. Is this the one with the biorecreator? It is, in fact. So, Mizuki, about your biological construct. That is to say, get into that. Is it a bit mean to just pick and choose and just throw people into a vat? Probably. Class 4 lifeless. Is this the oddity that I once found? I did find a lifeless world that did have a farm on it for some reason. I don't know if we'll find it on this one. But it would be really interesting if we did. Perform a survey. Fascinating. It does have the habitability though. Now you're probably thinking, Vaughn, shouldn't you be delivering confectionaries and improving relationships to get access to the November market? Yes. Am I going to find the Terran planets first and scan them? Oh, hey, look, another Terran planet. Am I going to scan the Terran planets and get more coins so we can buy the Neko cores? Yes. There is also I'll call it a mini event I wish to recreate, but I do not know what conditions led to it. Well. It was in fact the system I was thinking of. 2 Terran eccentrics naturally spawning in one system. And to top that off, it has a gas giant, it has volcanic world, frozen world, it has everything I could ask for. I mean, it doesn't have a gate or stabilized points, but 2 naturally spawning Terran eccentrics? You know, a wise person would make a thumbnail about the Terran planets and the exploration and all that. No, I put it vague as something like Dream Electric Fleet because I really wish we had a Neko fleet right now. But we do not. We aren't building anything, so we should probably put a fix to that. We can put a confectionery down, can't we? Alright, we are back at for bonus. Let us access the special trade zone. We will turn in our surveys, what few we have. And today we will be smart and not stupid, and we are going to actually think very carefully.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
What I am saying is I really want to buy the Crown Princess type Nyoko. Now, the great thing about the Nyoko cores is that they're customizable. You can select the skills you want to use, and they're all elite. Obviously, I want the best model. Leaving us 8,800 left, meaning we are just short of the combat ships I would want, but this is why we want to get access to the November markets. And is why we are going to take a trip down to the shuttle, and we're going to check out the crowded booth at the Favonius Beach. People left and right are lining up to wait for their turn to approach the booth. You also occasionally see meteor showers and shipwrecks blazing in the sky above. A combination of strict anti-piracy measures and disregard for civilian atmosphere laws both blessed and cursed the ridiculously popular tourist attraction. On the ground, however, most are behaving pretty well, for Favonius tourists at least. Others are becoming impatient and beginning to take things into their hands. Nevertheless, a local Favonius security service are taking the matter seriously and ensuring that everyone is safe and able to enjoy the paradise world freely. Don't mind fireworks, people. The lights in the sky are just for your tourists to enjoy. Just for you tourists to enjoy. One of the promoters addressing the crowd. You're not sure whether to feel safe or concerned. It would be, but it would be in your best interest to just wait in queue for the fabled ice cream that seemed to be worth killing and dying for. The front side of the booth said Queen's Gambit ice cream for free. There is also a smaller sign that says, don't forget to invest in local Aurorian salvage companies. A coin-sized share of space debris pierced the sign as you finished reading. After what felt like forever, you finally get to the front of the queue. You were greeted with smiles as people tending to the booths are all wearing beach wares. Hello, here is your free ice cream. Enjoy it and have a wonderful time on Favonius. A friendly face approaches you and hands you a glass of vanilla ice cream, the Queen's Gambit. It sure looks tasty as you look inside the glass. Don't worry, we use hyper-insulated ingredients, so your ice cream will always be cold as long as you don't melt it on purpose, they said in a cheerful voice. Say thanks and return to the bar. Now, we have a second yellow text. I would like to press the second yellow text. However, we have other things to do. So, I will remind myself, probably, maybe not, to come back to this. Yeah, so good to see you. Spark a conversation, offer a gift. I have a snack package for you. Now to spark another conversation, ask for access, I request an audience with the monarch. You want to have an audience with the queen. The woman shakes her head in disbelief. I mean, we do acknowledge your contribution, but still. Fine then, technically you are suitable to ask for such clearance anyway. Just don't do anything stupid while you are visiting Auroria. Also make sure you bring me more chocolava and send my regards to my daughter aboard the Capitol Guard. I forget you have a daughter all the time. I don't think I've ever actually met her. Anyway, which reminds me though, thank you for reminding me. Ask for promotion. Grand Moth. So now we'll have a salary of 200,000. We will have the ability to colonize 3 planets. And colonies will be under, of course, the supervision of the UAF. And once we leave the faction, all the colonies will stay with them. But that's fine. Totally fine. Hey, we actually caught her on a day she's here. How wonderful. You knock on the door 3 times and waited until a voice from within broke the silence. Igris. The Parmesan slang. The Parmesan slang in sync with the door's locks as it clicked open. Stepping inside, you felt an acoustic difference between the monarch's office and the rest of the building. Everything in the room was shaped and positioned perfectly in order to resonate with their voices' cloud-like tones. Welcome to New Auroria, Ark von Kura. It's a true joy to meet the selfish. Yes, I am very selfish. Ally of the Federation. I have heard so much about this cycle. In fact, you've been surprising me ever since your first flights in our system. I would be delighted to work more closely with you from now on. If you haven't already, please feel free to visit Favonus and take a moment to relax. There is an ongoing program there to help fellow starfarers take their minds off the stress of hyperspace, and the ice cream is the most coveted in this or any other universe. Auroria said and opened up a map pointing to at a water world not far from the OA system. Now, is there anything I can help you with? Yes, I would love to spark a conversation. I would love to offer you a gift. I have arrived with the requested pastries that I knew beforehand because I read your mind. I've also gone broke now. I'm impressed you actually did it even though it's practically unnecessary and probably unworthy of your time. Very well. You have my team's gratitude and my personal thanks. Auroria nodded and smiled as she ordered her staff to accept and distribute the pastries to everyone in the building. As you're about to leave the office, you briefly heard her as the door closed for you. Maybe they're right about you. You're different from the others. Now, I do not remember what the actual relationship criteria is for getting the November access, but we will continue to buy more cake. Alexandra, we haven't seen each other in ages. I have a snack package for you. You also are a glutton for the chocolate lava. Personally, I'm more of the donut fan, but that's me. Let us actually, wait, we have the option to ask about the UAF's resolution? We process it for analysis. After that, we went about ironing out some dents it accumulated. Some things needed a very extensive refit. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Considering you were a good sport about the whole thing, would you be interested in purchasing it? That's a reasonable price. I do not have the funds though at the moment. Does that mean I lose out on our conversation? Do I lose out on it if I don't have the funds right on hand? We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. I am quite confused. It has been well over a month at this point for me to give her a gift. Optima High Command. You transmit a message through the appropriate channels relaying your request to access the Robo Queen. A moment passes, then an hour, then 2, 3, until finally a gentle face appears on the hollow screen. Blue hair frames a pristine porcelain face adorned with curious chromatic eyes. The Parmesan. Imagine that was a dialogue option and it just immediately just tanked the reputation with her. That'd be very funny to me. Starfarer, you've sent quite the formal request. May I ask why you wish to see the Robo Queen? Her smile is misleadingly gentle. You respond that you want to establish a repertoire with the Automata division, offering assistance to them should they need it. Arya weighs your words very carefully. And I am a very big fan of the android. Give me a moment, I shall give you a response soon. The Robo Queen has agreed to allow you to contact her. Do not take this privilege lightly. I expect your best behavior. I hope this openness will deepen our bond further. I wish you well. I will need it. Right. It wasn't the November market that we needed. It was the Optima, wasn't it? Optima Logistics. Yes, that's what we needed. Oh, hi, Crows. Hello there. Wait, we can exchange Neko cores? Are you telling me this entire time I didn't have to go in? Once you were given clearance, the Optima Queen arranged to meet you in her personal observation chamber. From it, one could oversee the entire Lunamon command center. Despite the station's artificial gravity that kept you grounded, Arya was hovering gracefully in the middle of the room, several feet from the floor. Her chest veiled in sharp cyan light from the holographic displays orbiting her, and other faint rays from the city that the station oversaw. As the distance between the two of you closed, you had to tilt your head upwards to keep her in view. A vivid red crystal at the center of her chest caught your eye. You remember that most Aurorian androids had their cores concealed and protected behind dense armor plating. If the crystal was indeed Arya's core, an object imperative to her survival, you wondered what its lack of protection could imply. Welcome. How can the Automated Expeditionary Division be of service to you? What is your favorite snack? What a strange inquiry. This unit does not require any consumable or external power source to function. She pivots to observe you directly. From behind her opaque visor, it was impossible to discern whether she was merely addressing you or analyzing your every move against some omniscient database. However, my fellow bio colleagues in AED's research division at the naval headquarters surely would appreciate some delicious gifts from New Auroria. Approximately 800 boxes of pretzels and croissants are required. Do this, and your standing with me will improve slightly. Emphasis on slightly. Arya dragged one of her myriad holo displays to her face. It showed information about the items in question and where in Aurora you could find them. Compliment. Well, I think you're quite lovely as well. Aww. That almost makes up for the psychic damage of realizing you can exchange Neko cores. It doesn't. But it almost. Offer gift. I have arrived with a full shipment of pastries. So it was actually 750 croissants and pretzel boxes. Acknowledged. Your kind contribution will be noted and shared equally among the human staff. I reckon the newly acquired stockpile might last for a couple days, depending on the consumption rate. The Automa Queen paused with whatever she was doing and blessed you with a robotic smile accompanied with what visibly resembled a cute holographic blush on her cheeks. Thank you for caring about us. However, the blushing smile quickly faded away just as quickly as she went back to her devices. Perhaps this is her way of showing personal gratitude to you. A very brief moment of what felt like a hidden side of her as she rarely smiled or even interacted with anyone. Only 5, huh? Now, the funny, not so funny part is, I'm pretty sure we aren't producing that much. The confectionery gets the penalty, doesn't it? Oh hey, you're Nia's daughter. I had actually almost completely forgotten about this. UAF type DNS code received and confirmed over secure channel. Greetings, Archmonarch. I bid you good luck and fair sea. Nina sends her regards and a gift to you from the Bureau. I had actually completely forgotten about this. Solvernia froze and stumbled over her words. Despite everything you've heard of her to this point, the vulnerable commander of the November Solvernian battle group was blushing like a little girl in front of you. What? You came here just to personally relay a message from my mother? Jeez, she doesn't have to tell a stranger to do things like this. She mumbled and averted her eyes. Anyway, thank you. Please transfer her gift, whatever it is, to the flagship. I'll collect it from the terminal myself. Don't get any stupid ideas. This has nothing to do with you. The signal abruptly terminated as her flushed shouting was enough to disrupt the network. You don't recall what you could have done to make her so disconcerted. Did you breach some unspoken Aurorian social code? A commander showing such unprompted sentiment certainly wasn't common in the core worlds. You decided to go about your business, but not without pausing to see if Solvernia's bridge would flare the same red light as her captain's cheeks. Okay, so between this and time and our last, I've actually been off the recording just to run back and forth and save up some credits. I even sold our Marines to increase our monthly balance. And I actually didn't realize that I could tell Mia that I actually met her sister. Or not sister, daughter, right. Sorry, they just both look so young. I met Solvernia, and sent you your regards to her. Oh, you did? Did she say anything to you? She's been doing fine, right? For a moment, the administrator sounds less stern and more mother-like as you are talking about her daughter aboard the flagship. She was very flustered. But let's go with flustered. Plus 15? Wow, that's... Maybe I don't need to give Nia any more snack packages. Maybe she doesn't need chocolate lovers. She does. The administrator looks at you and chuckles shortly after. I guess she is still the same kid that I raised. Thank you. I'm sure you already know we are both busy and rarely have time to meet each other. Being in charge of the station turned me into a busy woman with no time for her. I'm glad she hasn't changed despite even after so long since I met her. She smiles constantly, seeming to be happy hearing that what you told her. You know what? That's so touching. You know what? Here, do have this Choco Lava package. It's gonna bug me that the compliment didn't round it up to at least 75, but it's fine. Offer package, shipment, another 5 points to Gryffindor. Class 4 lifeless. Is this by chance the lifeless planet I thought had farmland in the last recording? It is. It is the farmland, actually. And it's a really good planet, too. You have the faction-wide ship quality, habitable, it's hot, so you can actually use it as a military base with the cryolator. The extreme weather is a bit meh, but I mean, poor farmland. It's really nice. Alright. And compliments. 20 favorability. Surely that is enough to give me access to the logistics, right? Alright. 50. Surely you can now trust me with the access to the November auxiliary. Compliments? You're joking, right? You're joking, right? Ask for access. Ah, you're still interested in accessing the surplus market. Well, my offer still stands. Aria glinted her perfect smile at you. Oddly enough, it reminded you of the pitcher and ice cream cone. They both shined in the same delightful way. Just so you know, I only have jurisdiction over November access. If you're after the automated divisions gear, you'll have to consult with Aria on Lunamon. We aren't the same person after all. I may be the permissary, but I always give a special degree of autonomy to the special Nokos on our little moon. I'm sure you can win them over as well. Yeah. Do you have any idea how financially ruined I was trying to get them to just take all the donuts? You don't produce enough pretzels and croissants. I demand more pretzels and croissants. On the bright side, I finally got my credit balance back. On the downside, I'm now stuck here waiting for more pretzels and croissants. Here, have the Queen's Gambit. Smiled happily when you arrived with the Queen's Gambit in hand, despite typically being very cordial. Just the sight of the coveted treat sent her bouncing around the office like a spoiled princess. Thank you. Did you get this all the way from a bonus? She hardly finished the question before tasting it. You didn't bother questioning why she had a spoon in her desk. Auroria truly has a unique civilization. Did you know the ice cream was named after me after I announced the opening of a resort world? It was nice of them to do so, though I'm yet to understand why they're referred to as a gambit. Could it be because Arya froze for a beat, then drowned whatever hostile thought she had in more ice cream? Anyway, congratulations. You have been granted access to our November surplus market. I hope you find our hardware to be useful to your cause. Yes, just as I thought, they should be producing pretzels actually, so what I really should do, because I'm the stupid, is I should really close this and take those units over to the actual military base. I have been doing this all sorts of fun. You know, thinking about it, what if all of the UAF keycards just spawned over here? I mean, I literally haven't checked out this entire region of the sector yet. Wait, hold on. Okay, so update on what's been happening for the last 20 minutes. I have been collecting croissants out the wazoo. Aria doesn't want to accept my gifts because thing not pop up. Come back to Princess, be like, fine, I will give her all of the pastries. What's this about claiming a special soup, you say? Aria notices you as you enter her office, barely lit by moonlight since curtains were left open and lights on. Ah, you're here. Arch von Kuro. Are you about to kill me? I know you're not, but you're here at last. I'm sorry for making you come here so late, but there's something I'd like to show you. She drops with whatever she was doing and waves her hand, signaling you to follow her as she heads towards the balcony. Her bright royal blue hair blowing in the cold nightly wind as it breezes into the room when she opens the sliding door. She gazes on the night cityscape around them with a subtle smile. Do you ever get to have a small moment just like this, relax and enjoy small things like this out there in the sector? After a brief moment of windy silence, she then extends her hand towards the bright starry sky, the very same sky you always fly and live in as a starfarer. You would notice her about to say something as her lips movement and body language suggests, but it seems she decided to hold it in for now. Excuse me, the what now? Aria Charlotte, flagship royal battle cruiser. 1 million credits and 3 story points. My apologies, Captain Kuro. I was distracted by something. May I have your attention and please look over there towards the sea. There is a ship currently docked at the military port. Aria lowers her hand and points towards the correct direction. There is indeed a Relia-class battle cruiser in the water, but there's something off about it. It seems extra larger and more broader. You mentioned that you saw a Relia, but reckoned it might be different or upgraded since you don't recognize the extra tidbits here and there. Correct, that is indeed a Rilaru. However, more accurately known as Aria Charlotte class battlecruiser. You widen your eyes as she mentioned her own name, a prototype named after me. I initially disagreed with this idea. It doesn't feel right for my name to be on a warship, but I digress. It's an unproven white dove of a ship, currently caged and only tasked with a ceremonial role to guard and watch over the city. She taps the back of her hand to bring up a holographic display of the ship along with transfer order next to it. I'd like you to be the one to free this dove and test her as you see fit. I have a feeling you would be keeping her in your wing for a long time, so I would kindly ask for 1 million credits as transfer fee. Think of it as my gift for you. I mean, I have to pay for it, but I also can't argue with that. Well, I'm broke again. Oh, hey, Lost Scrappy are finally decivilized. Took long enough. Wait a second, is that a bad thing? I might have still needed that planet to be civilized. How are you doing? Would you like some pretzels and croissants? Initiate small talk. Oh my god, she takes snacks. Raises an eyebrow and turns around, glancing over the window where you could see a bright orange glow of New November City on the planet's surface. Then somehow the ceiling light turns on brightly over her head just as soon as she figured something out. Well, I heard a lot about the famous Aurorian pastries and always wondered what they would taste like. If you could get me a couple of them, like, say, chocolate donuts, and ship them over to my ship, I'd be grateful. Thank you. You didn't have to bring me these, you know? Says and smiles while confirming the request ships over the pastries. I need to rename this episode and make a new thumbnail. It just should be pastries, just pastries, just pastries. This is what Aurorian pastry does to a person. They drive you mad. You think you have what they want, but they don't take it, and it just drives you crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. Why aren't you taking them? Why aren't you taking them? What recursive loop hell have I found myself in? Excuse me, what? Are we getting ships from everyone but the Nekos? Is this how this works? You're back again. I've noticed you've been coming back to me lately for more things to do. Perhaps you've taken an interest in me as your favorite. I mean, I can't look you in the eye and answer that question. Smirks and points at the calendar next to her where she marked the days you visited her. Well, if that's the case, then I have something in mind for you as a reward for your loyalty to her cause. Follow me to the spaceport, please. Hold. 2 million and 3 story points. That's Rear Admiral Persephone Tatia's flagship, the Songbird, a former first of its class, and let's say more than just a ceremonial ship. The ship class was named in the honor of the Admiral herself to commemorate her. I heard a lot of rumors about her. She doesn't look like she's... doesn't look nor feel right to me. I reckon something must have snapped in her and let at least a vengeful spirit within her. Anyway, I've offered guys to allow you to be the first to give her some proper trials by fire. She is fresh out of the dry dock. Let's hold off on that. What about this combat freighter, the XL? That might be more my price range. That is also out of my price range at the moment. I love how everyone but the one person I want to actually improve relationships with is handing me ships. Kind of reminds me of that Patrick and what's his face meme where it's like, this is a croissant package. Yep, you want these to improve your relationship. I give these to you so you'll eventually give me access to the Nekoya systems. Makes sense to me. Well, then here, take them. Not available. I can't even compliment her. She's stuck at 25. There has to be something. I'm missing something. Finally. That took like 3 in-game months? I don't even know how long it's been. Hi again. Initiate small talk. Greetings, Admiral. What are you up to now? Have you been stalking the fleet this whole time? You can't seem to leave me alone. Complains about with a pound on her face, but she doesn't seem to be bothered by your relentless attempts to contact her. For now. I heard you are quite close to Nina, my mother. Is this how you get close to her? I bet she gets a lot of chocolava from you. Yeah, she gets it for free too. She doesn't even increase her reputation anymore. I just hand her 300 and it's just gone. With a hint of jealousy, you suddenly have a hunch and decide to look over to her main guns, which were facing forward earlier. Now you. Hello again. What are you doing now? I am an admiral, the captain of the Solvernia class Dreadnought, but I can offer you nothing. It's not that I'm enjoying the small talks or anything. Don't get any wrong ideas. So you're a tsundere. Got it. Initiate small talk. Offer. See, your cooldown is like a week. The Robo Queen over there is like, nah, the people at R&D can just starve. They have coffee. Want to meet on break time? Let's sync up our time together so that we can eat together in the cafeteria. You brought this after all. You agreed and suggested a nice place to have a snack somewhere at the Eve Orbital Anchorage station. You mentioned it would have a perfect place to watch the beautiful sunset together. As you waited for her at the cafeteria, you noticed a familiar ship silhouette appearing on the horizon as it stopped conveniently right next to the evening sunset. Wait, it ain't? They used ain't? It ain't take long. I think they meant didn't. It didn't take long before Solvernia to fly and meet you in person as she sits in front of you confidently with a smile. Enjoying the view, Starfarer. Not everyone gets to see 2 sides of me at the same time. Now, where's my donuts? I call first dibs on the big one. Hello again. What, do you have a message from my mother again or something? No? Okay. You sound disappointed when she realized you're just here to greet her like usual. Initiate small talk. Oh, I can't gift her anymore at the moment. I can say hello again. Greetings, I am... it's just you again. Rolls her eyes and turns off the video feed angrily. Although you can't really tell what's going on in there, but her voice can clearly be heard as she was walking around, being mad at you. Was she aware that the call is still on? Somehow you doubt that. But then it came to your mind that you are definitely seeing the hidden, rare feminine side of her. Hold on. Am I reading this correctly? So, this may be wrong, but if I'm reading this right, it's 15 real-world minutes between gifts? That can't be right. Can it?
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
One eternity later.
Ask for access to the Automata surplus market. How bold of you to request access to the surplus market of our experimental cutting-edge Automata hardware. Please wait a moment while I check on your profile. The Automata Queen said as she opened and scrolled along your profile. You feel like she doesn't need to do all that physically, as she is, after all, connected to the whole network. But she is probably doing it just to give you a sense of familiarity. When she's done, she closed it down and transferred the display to the holopad on the table, allowing you to see that you have been given approval to access the Lunamon's Automata Logistics Hub. Press approve. You have been given a higher clearance level which will allow you to purchase our high-end hardware. Is there anything else you need? 2 hours of my life back? Finally, we can play the actual game, he said, looking at the price tag, realizing how broke he's about to become. Maybe the real dream was the nightmare we had along the way. Until next time, fly safe.